Welcome to this 3 R's video on essay writing. This is one of 3 videos of the 3 R's, researching, writing and referencing, which are provided to students at the Mount Helen campus at the University of Ballarat. My name is Talia Barrett and I'm an academic advisor here at UB. In this video I plan to walk you through understanding the structure of an essay and provide you with examples of the different sections you will need to include in your own writing. I will refer to the topic analysis at the beginning of this presentation, but the first 3 R's video on researching covers this in more detail, so I encourage you to view that if you need advice on how to dissect your topic. But before launching into writing anything, there are some other points to consider. Knowing how you will be marked and on what aspects is the key to being on the right track with any assignment. One key point is knowing how many words you will need to write, as this will dictate the number of points and therefore paragraphs you can include in the body of your essay. I'll be talking about this later. In other words, be selective with the information you gather, otherwise you may feel too overwhelmed. Your word length will also dictate how many references you should use, though usually your lecturer dictates that as well. A minimum of 6 to 8 references is a good guide for a 1500-word essay. Also, if you know the referencing style you need to use, be it APA, MLA or Chicago Note, it is important to reference as you go, which will save you heaps of time. An essay should be made up of paragraphs with no headings. Reports use headings. However, some lecturers will allow you to use headings, so always check with them if you're not sure. But the key to any good marks is analysing the topic properly, so that you know exactly what to write about. As I mentioned earlier, I spend more time on topic analysis in our first 3 R's video, but I will mention it here briefly. First, make sure you understand all the words in the topic. Or if it is a new word for you that you may need to define within the essay topic, for example, a tort for law or a multidisciplinary team for health sciences, at least you know that you need to seek out a few different definitions. If you have a quote, it is helpful to rewrite it in your own words to make sure that you have understood the meaning behind it. Second, there is a 3-step process you can follow with analysing any topic, which is the following. First, circle the instructional words. Second, underline the key words. Third, bracket the limiting words. If you follow this process every time, you'll be less likely to miss anything out. But before you can start writing, it's really important to understand the structure that you will need to use. Here is a basic essay structure. You can see that there is an introduction and a conclusion, and the blue rectangles in the middle are your paragraphs. Your introduction is approximately 15% of your total length. It's normally 1 paragraph, depending on the overall length of your essay. Your conclusion, on the other hand, is normally 10% of your total length and is always 1 paragraph. With your paragraphs in the body, which are the blue rectangles, you can see that you have a topic sentence, which is always written in your words, plus supporting ideas, examples and references, and these you usually gather from your research. The other thing you will notice about the introduction and the conclusion is that they have a funnel shape. A normal funnel shape from general to specific for the introduction, and an inverted funnel shape for the conclusion, which means you're going to travel from specific information to general information. But we'll visit that later. As you can see from this slide, there are 4 parts to an introduction. As I mentioned previously, you travel from general information to specific information. And the general information is comprised of background information to your topic, which is about guiding the reader into your topic. You then narrow your focus, providing the context for your argument. Then you present your argument or your thesis statement. And finally, you can outline your main points that to be discussed. I should press at this point that this is merely a guide to writing an introduction. It doesn't have to be strictly in this order, but as long as you've got these 4 sections, it will ensure that your reader will understand what your essay is going to be about. Here is an example of an introduction that I've provided for you. We'll have a look at the topic to begin with, and as you can see, topic analysis has been applied. The topic is workplace diversity is now recognised as an important feature in organisations. And you can see that 2 instructional words such as outline and discuss have been circled. The key words such as workplace diversity and multicultural nations have been underlined, and limiting words like Australia have been bracketed. Underneath, the 4 parts of the introduction have been highlighted with colours. So the introduction to the background information to the topic is in blue. The narrowing of the focus and providing context for the argument is in green. The actual argument or thesis statement is in red. And the main points that will be discussed are outlined in black. Just take a moment to read. Following on from the introduction are the main points, which are represented in your body by paragraphs. The number of main points you can include does depend on your word count. Each point that you make in each paragraph has to link back to your introduction, and it needs to support your thesis statement. There should only be 1 point per paragraph. The topic sentence is that particular point, and the supporting examples that follow must be focused on that same idea. A paragraph is an idea, the whole idea, and nothing but the idea. How you actually structure the main points in your body depends on a couple of things, and you can determine how that order applies. Do the main points naturally fall into any particular order? Or what you think is important to say about it, do they need to be also structured in a particular way? Does one point need to be expressed first in order for following points to make sense? In this slide, you can see that paragraphs contain a topic sentence, which is only ever written in your words. You should not have a reference to accompany this particular sentence. It should be your expression of the point you wish to make. What follows is B, supporting evidence and references. And here you can include paraphrasing, in-text citations, and examples from other case studies, if you like. Usually a paragraph is approximately 7 to 8 sentences long, although sometimes a paragraph can be up to half a page depending on how long your actual essay is going to be. Here is an example of a plan for a paragraph. First of all, at the top we have the topic sentence, which I mentioned is written in your words. Below is the evidence that you'll be using to support that particular idea. And here we have 2 examples of evidence. And I have used APA style here to provide that evidence. Here is the actual paragraph written in full. So we have gone from the outline, as in the previous slide, to a paragraph written in complete sentences. As you can see, the topic sentence remains the same, but underneath, the supporting evidence is written in complete sentences. I'd also like you to note the language which is used in the supporting evidence. We have the use of linking words applied here, which can help your ideas to flow. Words like indeed, and references like this implies, which is referring to the previous sentence. Words like thereby. All of these can support you in helping to write sentences that flow from one point to the next. Finally, we have your conclusion. And as I mentioned earlier, it is an inverted funnel. So it's actually travelling in the opposite direction to the introduction. The point being that the purpose is to remind the reader about what your original thesis statement was, and also to summarise your main points that were in your body. No new information should be included in your conclusion. The general element of a conclusion, at the bottom here, is where you can set your topic into context again. It gives you an opportunity to mention wider implications or make recommendations for further investigation. Here we have an example of a conclusion from that original topic on workplace diversity. As you can see in blue, the thesis statement is reconfirmed. In red, the main points are summarised. And in green, there is a concluding statement, which is entirely your own idea that you wish to express. All of the information I've referred to in this video on essay writing and paragraphing and linking words can be accessed from an Academic Study Resources web page. And this particular page links you to a number of resources that can help you get started on essay writing. In particular, there are quite a number of downloads specifically on essay writing with the particular graph that I referred to in this presentation. It also has links to the general guide, which can assist you with your in-text citations as well. But the main thing is that you access support and you don't leave starting your essay to the last minute. There is lots of information out there, and the main thing is to start early with your topic analysis, get into your research, and try and enjoy the process of constructing your writing.